All right. I've got Adobe Premiere here. I'm going to try to share my computer sound as well. There we go. I've got Adobe Premiere. I'm on a Windows box. The same identical experience is also offered on the Mac. So the Mac and the Windows have identical clients. So the workflow and the buttons is the same. So CaraOne does work on the workstations themselves. They obviously are going to be pointed to the high-res material, but CaraOne is also pointed to proxy so that it can work over a VPN or work over slower networks as well. So we're able to come in here and see that I'm part of a team. We have multiple team setups and that I am pointed to the proxy locations so that I can do my searching and work off of a lower throughput version of the files. We have four major features, and they are signified by the upper right here. I'm in the search quadrant, and in the searching, we see ability to filter. We've got a lot of different filters here. We can filter and look for just something in the visual part of the videos. We can go for the spoken word. We've got 170 languages that we can detect, and we can search in English based on those, or we can assign the server to a specific language as well. We've got a media pool. So this is my entire team's media pool. In this example, I can look at an Adobe Premiere project with this filter, and then I can further go down into my team's storage. Obviously, another team's storage is not going to show up here, but I can dive down into my team's storage to come and get something more specific. I've got document search. I can go for something in the text. And once again, Bob alluded, this is contextual. We're humans, we don't remember word for word, so we're able to just put the gist of what we're trying to find in this free-flowing search, and the CaraOne will offer up results based on that. Or I'm going for an image. Maybe I know there's an actual still photo or a diagram that's part of a PDF, a Word doc that I want to pull out. And I've got pictures and then audio only. So these are make up the filters that will let me search into something that specifically that I'm looking for. So I always like to start out visually, just something like sleeping dog. Sleeping dog will show that I've got a lot of images with the sleeping dog, but it also, this particular example into our 300 hours of random YouTube footage that we've got here also shows some of the power. We see that the AI is going to give the highest confidence result, much like a Google search. So that's up here. The AI is said, hey, with a certain amount percentage of certainty, I'm pretty certain I've got a sleeping dog here. And then as I scroll over, those percentages go down. But we like to point this one out. There's a blurry sleeping dog in this cooking show sleeping back here. And so you're seeing the power of what the image recognition, logo recognition can really do, because it's really looking at all of the frames of video and being able to pull out even abstract results. So sleeping dog versus running dog versus any type of action that you want your dog to do. But let's go for peaceful image, and you can see that possibly that same sleeping dog might come up in the peaceful images with our footage. Remember, this is not going to the internet at all. This is completely going into the media library that you have. So we've got very strong concepts of looking for different things. I mean, it knows different cinematic terms, drone footage, if you're looking for something specific. So we can hone in on that. And close-ups, side pans, different cinematic terms that you might be able to put in there as well. So with the contextual search, with the object recognition, how the world works, faces are important. We've got a strong facial recognition. Of course, we can bring up Leonardo here. And now we can look for them being emotional or specific things that you want to pull up to build your story. Notice that the AI also is bringing in an in and out point. I've got a scrub utility. I've got the ability to change in and out points if I'm not completely happy with what the confidence rating has brought up. I've got the ability here to copy the entire folder path and file path to the clipboard. Maybe I need to hand that off to a team member. And I can export that to Premiere just straight out in a straight button. And then if we go to Premiere, we see that importing in here. And so we can use those clips within the Premiere interface. Let's do sound. Sound might be something like you don't remember exactly what was said, but you...
Okay, this is unexpected, but
you're looking for the gist of the conversation.
Good morning. I just woke up in London.
So I said I'm in London. She said I woke up in London. Of course, we don't remember the exact word for word, but we're able to put in the gist of the conversation and come up with example clips that might match that. Further to the integration with the Premiere, and we've got the spoken word, we can drill down. I'll show a little bit of how we can go into a subset of files. I could do a shift click here, or I could select an entire folder, but I'm just going to come into one file here. And now we've got a magic wand button. Oftentimes we're tasked with taking huge, long content, and we have to watch all of that, and we have to find the exciting spots and put in and out points and prepare that for the editor. So what this is basically keying in on the most cinematic shots if we're hooked on the visual. And so it's going through that, bringing in the in and out points that the AI deems as cinematic, really cutting down the job. And let's say if we wanted to do a long interview, we've got a lot of blank air, a lot of spots with nothing happening. So we can also do it with the spoken word. And now the AI is going to present up clips that have impactful statements. So this will really cut down cycling through that media and getting the best shots and getting the most impactful statements for your projects. So let's take that search a little further now, and I'm going to come back out to my full media pool here. And let's just work on a Bloomberg building in London story. We've got some nice architecture. Now I'm going to show you the star. So the star is ability to add up clips into some rough cut. Let's get an office scene here as well. And now I'm gonna move from the search. So I've shown how to do multiple searches, use the star to build up a list. Now I've clicked on the star. This is a list where we can change the, we can work with the clips. We've got a rough cut editor. We can change in and out points if we want to. Now here's the way to work with an Avid Media Composer or other system. We can export this as an AAF. So we can get that out onto our file system, import that into our Avid. So now we have a frame rate AAF with a rough sequence that we can import right into our project. Furthermore, from the AAF export, we could save those for later. We could send that one to another team member. Or we could bring that into a predictive timeline editor. With the CaraOne predictive timeline editor, this is really taking storyboarding, bringing it into more dimensions, in that we could actually fork our timeline. So now we've got a rough cut editor, but we're able to use the prediction to help us predict what might come next. So here we're building our story about some nice architecture in the Bloomberg building, but then maybe we want to come in and see what the AI is offering up, to now come in, and it's offering shots of the employees, some office workers. And so it'll help us kind of storyboard this out in using what could come next, maybe a wide shot, maybe a narrow shot. If I come back here and maybe I really like this staircase, I can click here, and now you can see that it's going to start to fork my timeline. Now I can be building different ideas. I would be working with CaraOne prediction tool to help build out multiple storylines. And then obviously, if I'm really happy with one of those storylines, I've got the export AAF, and now I can export that version out into my editor. So that's the prediction tool. It's really meant for helping and bringing timelines into a more visual sense. And then the final is a chatbot into the media. It's called Ask CaraOne. Here you can ask your media questions. We've got a fashion show downloaded here. What are the spring shoe trends? And now this is going to go into our media pool, into our filtered search, and give in and out points and start to answer that question into our media. This is not going out to the internet to find the answer. It can't even do that. And so this is Ask CaraOne. That basically you can start to ask your media questions. Maybe you had a character in episode 9 that did something, but you couldn't quite remember what they were doing. In a news sense, maybe we ask it, how did Abe Shinzo die, or something, some political figure or something in a news instance where you have to go back and ask the media question. Maybe you're working on daily social media buzzes and you want to come up with good ideas for building your social media. So that's Ask CaraOne. And I've just briefly went over the 4 features and want to hand this back over to Bob so that we can continue the conversation around CaraOne.
Thank you, Daryl. Looks like you may have done this demo once or twice before.
Just a few times.
So CaraOne, very powerful search engine, but as you can see with the features being developed around the search, it's becoming this intelligent media assistant. It's there to help the content creators do more content creation versus, like I said, the administrative work where they're constantly searching or watching content and logging it and tagging it.